Well, thank you all very much for being here. I am very pleased and proud to be able to present to you David Black, our appointee to the Department of Insurance. David's the former CEO of Royal Bank of Canada as well as Liberty Life Insurance. He's a graduate of USC, Clemson, and has completed a program at Darden School of Business. He comes highly qualified, but most importantly, he understands that we need to build back up the insurance industry in South Carolina to where we look at the captives again, to where we understand that we need to be as customer friendly with the insurance companies that do business in South Carolina, because they too are about jobs, they're about economic development, and we are about being as pro-business in the state as we possibly can. I want to personally thank Scott Richardson for the work that he has done for us and the service that he's given to the state, and my hope is that David will go and take the work that Scott has done and all of those former commissioners and roll it over to where we do bigger and better things. And so with that, I'll turn it over to David.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Governor. Thank you for this vote of confidence. I'm really excited to be here and excited to accept this appointment. I look forward to working with the entire team. As the Governor said, I think we can all agree looking forward we want to do all that we can to be pro-business in the state and to drive economic development and to drive quality of life for the citizenry. And I think insurance and the insurance industry plays a heavy role, a significant contribution in making that happen. You can't have economic growth and you can't have jobs if you don't have capital preservation and capital creation. And I think the insurance industry, whether it's the property casualty business or it's the life business or it's the health business, is instrumental in creating that capital that's necessary to drive the economy forward and create the jobs we need to ultimately create the revenue we need. So I look forward to working with this team. I'm excited about the challenges. I'm sure there'll be a lot of hard work ahead, but I look forward to it. And again, thank you, Governor.
You're welcome. So with that, I first of all want to say it's great to see Senator Thomas here, and we look forward to your meetings with David, as well as that swift confirmation that we're looking for as we can get him to work quickly. And with that, I will open it up for any questions that you have.
Greenville.
I mean, there's no secret I don't like the unions. We are a right-to-work state. I will do everything I can to defend the fact that we're a right-to-work state. We are pro-business by nature. I want us to continue to be pro-business. If they don't like what I said, I'm sorry. That's how I feel.
What do you see when you look at the insurance industry in this state, particularly captive businesses, and also one of the big concerns is coastal homeowner insurance that took such a beating in the past years as far as rates. What do you see as things that could make the insurance industry work better?
Well, you referenced the captives. I think there's definitely a lot we can do. We've made a significant amount of progress on the captive side, but there are more things we can do to create more jobs in the state, with sort of an emphasis on having captive managers more inside the state, more resources to support those captives housed inside the state. I mean, I think a lot of those, if you look, would be oriented in Arizona and other states, and so I think we can do a lot to sort of see if there are efficient ways that we can bring more of that work in state. But I think captives is certainly a great area to focus on in the near term.
I think there was a time where captives saw South Carolina as friendly. They've now kind of started to look at Vermont a little bit more. We want to pull them back in so that they're looking at South Carolina again. They bring jobs, they bring good economic development. It's smart for us to continue to look at them as a good partner as we want to look at businesses in South Carolina.
What was it about Mr. Black that made you want him to be the department?
I think easily it was the experience, but what I liked about him the most was he understood the customer service aspect. The fact that the insurance companies shouldn't feel like they're coming to a department with a lot of red tape and kind of putting their hand in their face. Instead, they need to realize they're coming to a partner and friend that wants to see them do more business in South Carolina. He understands it's not about them coming to his office, but him going to their offices. And that was very important to me as we looked at the Department of Insurance.
Last night you mentioned privatizing the school bus system.
Yes.
Did you look at any other states as an example somewhere it worked well, or have you looked at other states to see did it work, how it worked, or were there problems?
I mean, every other state in the country privatizes their school bus system except for North Carolina. And what I can tell you is, in a time where we need to be focused on education, in a time where we need to be looking at graduation rates, we don't need half of the Department of Education focusing on school bus maintenance. Even if it netted zero, which it won't, It makes sense for us to have newer buses, make sure that we are focused more on teaching and dollars in the classroom than it is on what we've got going on the school bus fleet. Right now, I want to see those mechanics in the private sector. We will transfer our school bus drivers right over to the privatized companies. We will replace older buses with brand new ones. It's a no-brainer.
How does it save money though? If we pay X for the system now, how does a private company make any money if they're getting the same thing and then providing new buses?
Well, we've met with a couple of them, and I think General Zase has met with them too. Even if it didn't save the first penny, to have our kids on new buses and to have the Department of Education not dealing with school bus maintenance and focusing on education is a win for the people of South Carolina. It's a distraction we don't need. You know, I don't think that unions is the issue we need to talk about. It was the right of the taxpayer. And taxpayers don't need to be worrying about maintaining school bus fleets and schools that are broken down. Our kids in this state deserve newer school buses just like anybody else. Our employees at the Department of Education have the right to sit there and focus on learning in the classroom, not whether a school bus is 15 years old or 5 years old. It's the wrong mentality to have in state governments to think that we need to be partnering in school buses. It's the wrong approach altogether.
We had a private company do it, the biggest one in the country, the first student that's run into problems in Indiana with failing bus inspections. I think it was Ohio, there were fines for not maintaining the driver, background checks. There were problems. If it's a private company, do we lose that accountability where if there's a problem we can't do anything?
Accountability is always better in the private sector. The key is you bid this out to the company that's going to provide the best service and the best quality. If they do a bad job, you get rid of them. That's the great thing about the private sector. If they do a good job, it's a win-win all day long. Our goal is, why do we think we're the only state in the country that's got it right? Everybody else is privatizing school buses. I want to take that distraction off the table. Let's move it out of the way. This is a time when we're looking back at the role of government. I don't think our founding fathers thought school buses were what we were going to be paying for. Any other questions? All right, thank you guys, appreciate it.